right, babies, it's that time again. Oh, yeah. Last day of school. We have graduation tomorrow. We are in Amos 4. And these prophetic books are killing me. Meaning, they're upsetting me. Because they, in my opinion, they reflect, like a lot of the Bible, what men think God is doing and thinking based on their own behaviors. So, Israel is not living according to the law. Also created by men. Who knows how much of that was created by God? I don't. Not too much, I guess. So they realize they're disobeying their own laws. And so they assume God must be really mad at us. So that must be why we experienced so many hardships. And so God is depicted in Amos 4 as saying, I tried to get your attention by destroying everything around you, but you wouldn't listen. So guess what? You're about to meet me face to face. Those aren't the exact words, but that's the idea. However you want to look at it, it just sounds absurd to me. Absurd in the light of the mercy of Jesus. Which is why someone you probably never heard of, named Marcion, Marcion. He had this viewpoint that this God that Amos is depicting is a different God than the God of Jesus. You can see why he would say that. I think he came to that conclusion for the same reasons I'm bringing attention to this concern. Only he looks at it as, well, it can't be the true God, so it's got to be a different God. I just look at it like, it can't be the true God, therefore, it's a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of man's projections of who he thinks God is, because how could God be anything but supremely angry and trying to punish Israel when it's being so disobedient? Well, one way God could be is merciful and look for ways to reveal himself in the beauty and the power of living with a pure heart. There is mention in this chapter of Amos where God is saying, you love your sacrifices, you love all these methodologies, but clearly God is after the heart. So it could be, and likely to be, is my estimation, that all through history, God has been looking to transform our hearts. And as long as we're willing to accept that and address it and rest on Him to change our hearts, then He's happy, we're happy, the world is happy, because He has a place to live, which is in us, and because He's living in us, that we can release Him to the world, and we can serve each other in acts of kindness, forgiveness, and love, and other measures of service. Yeah, baby. Interestingly, I'm kind of going through a similar thing myself, where I'm trying to understand my own behavior and how I can better serve God. So I'm ever mindful of pleasing Him and doing the right thing. Now you might think, well, aren't you driving yourself crazy? Yeah, a little bit. But I prefer to be a little bit crazy than to be self-satisfied in my own estimation that, well, because God forgives me in the grace of Jesus, then I just won't worry about anything. That just sounds way too sloppy and way too selfish for my taste. You know, speaking of projecting ideas of who or what we think God is and doing and is doing, I don't see God being pleased with that type of mindset. Oh, I've given you Jesus, so you're just going to live any way you want because you're covered in the blood and that's it. You could live that way without the revelation of His mercy. So that just doesn't work. That's not a paradox, people. That's a contradiction. So, therefore, we have to live in a way that's in alignment with our conscience. And that is in order to serve God, serve Jesus, be one with Jesus, we have to allow Him to act through us. And if you'll notice, your usual behaviors are not Christ-like. Therefore, something has to change. The good news is, He doesn't expect us to do it on our own. Because guess what? We can't. Hello. That's the reason for the cross and the resurrection. So yes, you're forgiven. And yes, there is eternal life. And yes, you have it resident in you. But now you need to submit to it so that it changes your behavior so people can see the risen Christ in you. Oh yeah, baby.